So big night for Jaquan Jackson. The guys that were throwing him the ball, of course, Mason Rudolph and Malik Willis, they flip-flopped quarters. So you got 1 and 3 from Willis, 2 and 4, again, roughly, from Mason Rudolph. And the second roster reality that we can say with certainty now is Mason Rudolph is your backup quarterback. And frankly, he kind of always was, but I think last night's first half in particular, and I know this is reductive, but I think what you saw at the end of the first half last night really crystallized the reality here of Mason Rudolph coming in after Malik Willis has played and toiled with the same group for pretty much the entirety of the game so far. And then Mason Rudolph comes in and in his first drive with the team marches down 10 plays, 70 yards, and they get the touchdown. I would sum it up this way, JT. Yes, Malik Willis has made strides. He has improved this offseason, no doubt. But that's a relative term, right? And while he has improved, he is definitively not better than Rudolph. And when you look at the sum of both of their careers, I think the summary of Malik Willis is you look at that and you say, if we ever have to roll that out there in a real game, we're screwed. It's over. This is a white flag move. And with Mason Rudolph, the summary of his career watching it, you say, if we have to roll this out in a real game, we've got a fighter's chance. We got a puncher's chance. We might be able to eke out a win with this guy. And that's the biggest difference between them. That's the reason why Mason Rudolph was sought out by the team in the early stages of the free agency period, why he was brought in to be the backup in the first place over Malik Willis. Will Malik Willis miss the 53-man roster? I have been consistent in saying I am skeptical that they keep a third quarterback just because the three quarterback, the new rule, it's all overblown. People don't understand what it means. In terms of roster construction, it really doesn't mean anything. It's a provision in the rule book that allows for a very, very rare instance where you are desperate and you're about to have to play a skill position player as a quarterback. Let's get a real quarterback in there. That's all it does. It doesn't change the numbers or the math on who you can and can't keep. Again, if he makes the roster, I can go ahead and tell you right now, JT, it's because, once again, he falls into that category of who wants to join the roster? We're 46 deep and we need 7 more guys on the team. Who's it going to be? So maybe he gets in there. Well, what are you thinking right now? Are you leaning he is in or out?
I unfortunately think he's out, especially after what I saw last night.
Practice squad
for sure. He'll be on the practice squad, but just the difference in night and day to process your looks and go through your reads and make plays was the biggest defining factor. I looked at Mason Rudolph progress through his reads and play very well, dicing down the field. Malik Willis, 4 times, missed the wide open seam guy in the middle, and I was just trying to pull my hair out. You just missed this guy wide open. He's made strides.
That's such a good point. That from a vibes perspective, watching them is so different. With Willis, it's constant frustration, and with Rudolph, it's just yawning and boring. That's a big difference, right?
It's safe.
That's how you
it's
feel
safe
watching.
And it's boring. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I would say he's made strides. I would say that his pocket presence, for the most part, is better than it has been. There, I still kind of have etched in my brain the Malik Willis of London when he had to fill in for Ryan Tannehill during the Ravens game. That is the mind. That is kind of the precedent I have for Malik Willis. And
that was kind of the all-time. That was the bottoming out of the Malik Willis experience.
It really was. And so seeing that yesterday, it got better, but still you're making things where he should be throwing to a read that he doesn't, or he's tucking and running when he has a guy, he's
failing clean pockets.
The decision making is still not there, and I think that's the most frustrating thing. So worth a practice squad position, I totally agree. But Mason Rudolph, like you said, it's the safe, it's the boring option that you can. He's more of a cookie cutter quarterback that you can kind of like they did with Jake Browning last year, just kind of throw in there and maybe tweak a few things here or there. But for the most part, your system's going to stay relatively the same.
Joey in the comments puts a button on it, right? I will take boring over terrified if we end up in that situation where one of them has to play 100%. So we can move on from that. And I'm glad that we have some clarity on that quarterback competition. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for that.
Want more of the latest from the Hot Read podcast? Subscribe to the channel right below.
And follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at HotReadPod for even more segments, clips, and announcements.